Hey there, VCHHD students. My name's Andy. I'm a VC Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video, we're looking at the VCAA 2025 HHD sample exam, question 10, suggested sample answers. This is relevant for Unit 3 and 4 HHD for the 2025 plus HHD study zone. Before we dive into this video, just a reminder, there's a range of ways you can engage with the Health Resources Hub. If you're on our YouTube channel at the moment, you can subscribe with the button in the bottom corner of the video there, and that means you'll get alerts to all of our new videos and other opportunities as they come out across the year, especially in the lead up to the HHD exam this year. We've also got our website, the hrh.net.au, as opportunities for HHD students and teachers, so please check that out. We've got our Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook pages where you can follow us and get alerts to our new videos and other opportunities, and also our email, info@hrh.net.au, if you'd like to get in touch. Okay, before we dive into this video, just a reminder, if you're after some Unit 3 and 4 A+ course notes and practice questions in the lead up to the exam this year, you can head to our website and there's a student drop down where you can fill in this form and we'll get in touch. They're course notes and practice questions that cover all of the areas of study across Unit 3 and 4, and so they'd be helpful in your exam preparation. Okay, so we're looking at question 10 here, which was worth 10 marks in the sample exam. And so the first part here, A, was worth 6 marks and asked you to analyze the implications for health and human development resulting from increased world trade in relation to the global distribution and marketing of e-cigarettes, commonly known as vapes. So you can see there down the bottom, okay, in the sample exam, it mentions that that style of question will be marked using a rubric. And so essentially, as we've talked about previously, that mentions that there's not necessarily 6 points that you need to make in your response, but this is likely to be sort of marked holistically, okay, based on a rubric. So you need to make sure, obviously, you're addressing all aspects of the question, but you can probably think about this question as well, sort of being divided into two halves. So thinking about linking in the implications for health and also the implications for human development, okay, in relation to that world trade of vapes. So you can see here by mentioning the implications, okay, there is the potential there, okay, for you to either make positive or negative implication links or a combination of both. And because there's no real stimulus material here, okay, that means that you're not sort of being given any information that is sort of guiding, okay, whether or not you should be probably having more of a focus on positive or negative implications. So probably I'd try to mix up, okay, a response like this with some positive and negative implications. Okay, so let's have a look at a suggested sample answer. And so this question obviously could be answered in a range of different ways, and this is just one suggested sample answer. So it starts by talking about world trade being the exchange of goods and services across international borders, and that can include the global distribution and marketing of e-cigarettes or vapes. And so e-cigarettes could increase in consumption across the globe as a result of this marketing, and that means for some people it could be a form of stress relief, helping them to manage their stress levels. So that's obviously a bit of a positive link there, okay, into mental health and well-being. And then it goes on to say, however, as e-cigarette smoke can damage the airways and air sacs in the lungs, that may cause an increase in the incidence of respiratory conditions such as COPD globally, and that could also reduce the functioning of the body and systems such as the respiratory system and lower physical health and well-being. So you'll see there a couple of links into, okay, health status, so incidence, but also physical health and well-being. So remember that health links into both dimensions of health and well-being and or health status indicators. So there's a sort of combination throughout that response there. And then in the second half, in some countries, increased trade in e-cigarettes may raise levels of income for some people and help them to access a decent standard of living. However, e-cigarette smoke and chemicals can contribute to cell mutations in the body and cause conditions such as lung cancer for use of these products. And if people across the globe develop lung cancer, that could reduce an individual's ability to lead a long and healthy life and reduce human development. It can also prevent them from engaging in activities such as work due to illness, which may reduce their income and their ability to afford resources, have a decent standard of living, such as food, shelter, and reduce human development globally. So similarly, hopefully you can see in that sort of second half, there's kind of a bit of a combination of positive and negative, but more of a focus, same as the first sort of half, on negative aspects of increased global distribution and marketing of e-cigarettes or vapes. Because generally, okay, in health, when we're thinking about those kind of implications of something like people vaping more, we are sort of focusing more on those sort of negative impacts. But we do need to acknowledge that in some ways there can be some sort of, for some people, positive implications, I guess, of of this kind of global distribution and marketing. Otherwise, it sort of wouldn't be happening if there was no body benefiting it from it in any way. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a idea of what a sample answer could look like for a question like this. Obviously, you could go back and adjust to that question and think about some of the other topics that are covered in Unit 4, Area Study 1 when it comes to this particular global trend. And so you could change that to something like processed foods and have your answering a question like this as well. So that's just something to think about. Okay, before we have a look at the next question, just a reminder there is one more opportunity if you would like to attend one of these ACE HHD exam revision sessions that I'm running this year. So on 15th of October, I'm running a session from 4 to 7:30, and so that's online, so you can join from anywhere across the state in Victoria. I'll be going through section A and B exam advice and strategies, as well as covering all the key concepts across Unit 3 and 4. So if you're interested in that, you get a great set of notes sent to you in the post, and you can also bundle that together with the revision questions book, which you can see there, which I have worked on with ACE this year. So that's got over 500 marks worth of practice questions, a full trial exam, all with sample answers, and a full chapter on section B with practice questions and sample answers as well as advice. So that's all available at book.acevc.com. So then you'll see B here for 4 marks was asking you to use 2 action areas of the Ottawa Charter to explain how health promotion could be used to reduce the global use of e-cigarettes. So hopefully you remember those 5 different action areas of the Ottawa Charter. And so you just have to choose 2 of those and link that to reducing the global use of e-cigarettes. So make note there that it does say like the global use. So I'd make sure that as part of your response, you are linking into phrases like worldwide or across the globe, just to make sure that you're addressing that aspect of the question. So when it comes to, the action areas, I think a couple of the easier ones are probably develop personal skills and build healthy public policy. So I've given a couple of samples here for those two. So I've said governments across the globe could run health promotion campaigns across social media and television to educate the public on the risks of smoking e-cigarettes, and that could increase the knowledge that the global public has about the health risks of smoking e-cigarettes and therefore contribute to reduce global use. So you'll see there when it comes to develop personal skills, that's obviously about improving people's knowledge and skills in relation to managing their own health. So the example there is pretty specific. So try to avoid just saying things like more people will be educated. Try to make sure you give a specific example like has been given in that response there. So then in the second one for build healthy public policy, governments across the globe could introduce policies regulating the sale and marketing of e-cigarettes, such as limiting this to certain age groups, and enforce high monetary penalties for organizations that don't follow these rules. And that could reduce the sale and marketing of e-cigarettes and therefore the global use of e-cigarettes. So once again, an example, or a part of a policy or a law for build healthy public policy, and then obviously you need to make that relevant to the sale and marketing of e-cigarettes, and then make sure for each of these sort of responses you're linking back to that reduced global use like has been done there. You can see the consideration there that you don't need to describe the action areas because that's not part of the question, but your response should demonstrate a clear understanding of each action area, and then the suggested mark allocation. So a correct action area demonstrating understanding, and then a link of an example to reduce global use of e-cigarettes, and obviously have to do that for 2 different action areas. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. Just a reminder, if you're after that revision questions book, you can head to book.acevc.com and order a copy of that, and our website, thehh.net.au, if you're after those A+ course notes and those practice questions. Thanks so much.